They didn't taft hardly anybody for background work.
That was, yeah, they didn't do any union stuff on that, right? It was like a straight $100, I think, on that. 150.
Yeah, because we worked 13.5 hours.
Yeah, they gave extra.
Oh,
That's right. They gave extra because we stayed, and they fell in love with all million of us. And then I think whoever was SAG that was part of the crew got paid SAG rate.
Oh, nice. Maybe we just go to Q&A, right? So I think, you know, we've been in trans spaces before maybe, so questions, let's use like what, how, when, where versus I, me, personal stories. Just, you know, do a succinct question so we can get through as many people as possible. Let's start with Jen Richards. This is Jen Richards. Jen wrote her story that's being edited right now about the love between a trans woman and another woman. And I'm really excited to see it. So I just had to give you a little bit of credit before you ask a question.
Well, that kind of leads into my question, which is, well, I agree with Alexandra that it's great that there are better stories being told and good cis actors doing trans roles. I do want to just ask the actors about trans created content versus content that's directed or written by other people, and whether you've had opportunities to do work that's written by trans people and how that feels different for you, how it's different for you to perform in something that you've written, and kind of like what you'd like to see in the future in terms of trans created content.
Amazing. So yeah, working with trans creators. Let's just go down the row, starting with Dilo. Just
Trans created stuff?
Yeah, well, how is it different than working on a cis created show?
No, I mean,
Use your microphone.
Oh, sorry.
I think you're projecting very well as a performer.
I didn't do my vocal warm-ups. So when I was on Sense8 and Transparent, obviously, like, you know, hella trans folks, and maybe there wasn't hella trans folks in Sense8. There's Lana Wachowski and Jamie, but everybody was kind of like, the beautiful part about Transparent was that the team and the bathrooms and it was like heaven. It was like I couldn't believe like I was walking on a set. I never would have thought my entire life I would be walking onto a set like that. And I'm sure Alexandra feels the same way. And then
Can I say, yeah, because they did sensitivity training for all crew
with
around pronouns, and they made
exactly.
all bathrooms gender neutral. Yeah.
Absolutely. On Sense8, everybody it was up in the Bay, and like everybody kind of already was like, you know, Bay. So they were down for a lot of stuff anyway. Like everybody was like asking pronouns and stuff like that. On Looking, you know, it's super gay, and then super gay, but when I told the writer, you know, I identify as trans, next thing I knew, Scott Bakula's character is referring to my character as a he. So that was really awesome, and I feel like I've been very fortunate. The stuff that I have done that has been random hasn't been too offensive. Sometimes I cringe, but like it hasn't been too offensive. And then lastly, one project that I really just felt like the whole gamut was covered, and probably more in a spiritual way, is a film that's coming out called Bruising for Besos, which is by Adelina Anthony, and that's coming out I think end of this year or next year, and that, like, you know, where I was literally part of this team and an actor and all of this stuff, it's just mind-blowing to be able to work with people who are of a same aesthetic, who understand that queer and trans people of color stories are super needed, and in that same way, like seeing somebody on screen and going, oh, like, and it's powerful, and that to me was like probably the next heaven, you know what I'm saying? But I've been fortunate. I don't think that I've worked on any set where where I said that I was trans and I identified as such that somebody gave me backlash for it.
But I think it is really about the nuance, though. If there's like I don't think it's just about like bigotry versus love, right? Like it's more about just a general feeling when you have a trans creator or somebody that's really speaking your language.
I feel like the more, like, you know, the more sensitive I'm not asking everybody to be politically correct. I'm just asking for people to care. And if you care about the stories and you're not really just sensationalizing trans people's lives, then I'm down for you.
Scott, on yours?
Well, I got to work on your project, on her story. So I played the role of Aiden/Ada, And and it was this amazing moment of, can I say what I got to do? Would that be? Okay, okay. I realized I didn't want to leave it. It's not like it's The Bold and the Beautiful, though.
It's better than
cliffhangers, right? Where it was so meta. I was acting this moment of seeing someone for the first time, seeing someone who is seeing me for the first time post-transition, who is Aiden, right? Like having that moment and getting to act what I've already gone through, right? It was very deep. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I never thought that I would be on a movie set, like, acting something that I've already been through in life. And I know that's something that cis actors go through all the time, right? But like, I just never thought that was gonna happen. And it was so true, and I was able to have that reaction. And I felt like I was, I don't know, I felt like I was really acting in a very, like, kind of really deep way. So thank you for that experience.
Wow. Maya,
what was the question again?
It was how does it feel different? I think that you have a perfect example with Tangerine, where it's cis-driven, versus Marcia, where it's sort of trans-driven, top-down, cast and crew. Is that a different experience for you, and how's that different experiences for you as a trans woman?
Well, with Happy Birthday, Marcia, it was written by a trans person. So, and also with Tangerine, my co-star and I collaborated with the director on the whole writing process and everything. So everything was super comfortable all the time, and everything went my way. So, you know, that's the beauty of it. You know, everybody knows to have my passion fruit tea in the morning when I arrive on set. And
when you slap it out of their hands if it's anything else.
No, I don't do all of that.
Oh, come on, you get
to. No, it's my experiences have been wonderful, actually.
Alex?
Yeah.
And I'm the one that doesn't belong up here, but I would like to say something about this topic maybe after you go and answer the question.
Oh, yeah, you can say it now if you want.
No, let's hear from all the actors.
I just want to say something very sort of general, in that I think that the big difference that we're looking at is in any authentic situation, the people who have been through the actual life events that make up this situation are going to look through a truer lens. So I think, you know, the difference, you know, being with our own people that have lived the life that we have lived brings in a sameness. That's true of all of us on the planet. You know, so of course there's a difference, I'm saying, and I'm also saying I've had positive experiences and negative experiences actually in both. That it really doesn't depend on the person being trans or not. It depends on whether they're an asshole.
So who are the assholes on Transparent?
Well, there's a couple, no. But I have a list, which I will share later. I want to say, and then I just want to say that I used a term, magical. I threw that out early, but I want to just put an addendum to that I don't believe that we are magical creatures that can be dehumanized, but I do, however, believe that we are mystical creatures that can be spiritualized. And I believe that's true of everyone on the planet. So I just wanted to be clear.
And I wanted to say that at GLAAD, we are, of course, well, maybe you don't know, GLAAD is a nonprofit organization, and we exist to be a resource to media to help them do a better job of telling LGBT stories, basically. And so we don't get a lot of trans creators coming to us for help. Well, of course, we would offer it if they were to come for whatever reason, but we get a lot of non-trans people coming to us, and more so now than ever before. So the really, I think, thing that I find heartening about my job is that I have a lot of cisgender producers, network executives, writers, documentary filmmakers, reality show producers coming to GLAAD, largely me, to say, help us do a better, more authentic job of telling this transgender story. So, and they don't always get it right. They don't always take every bit of feedback that I give them, but I see a significant difference in intentionality, at least on the part of the non-trans creators in Hollywood right now, in terms of wanting to do a more authentic job of telling trans stories, and my job is to help them do that to the best of their and my ability. And then I also wanted to say one other thing, which now has totally fled my mind. Of course it would, because I got really distracted by Alexandra's comment. If I think of it, I will come back to... Oh, no, I do know what I wanted to say, and it's really relevant to Jen's point. I'm also a gay man, so I've spent my life looking at gay images on TV as well, like what gay male characters are like and all that kind of stuff, and I'm old. So I can certainly remember back in the day when like Billy Crystal was the only gay character on television, right? And how not only do we have more series regulars now who are LGBT characters, that they are qualitatively different than they used to be. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that so many gay men particularly are showrunners in Hollywood and have worked their way up from writer in Hollywood to showrunner in Hollywood to whatever. So I think that when those gay men have gotten into positions of creative power behind the scenes in television, they have been able to bring into existence more well-rounded, multidimensional, interesting gay male characters. And I think any gay person thinking about it for an instant would realize that there's a difference when people like, you know, whoever it is, Mark Cherry or Greg Berlanti or Kevin Williamson or, you know, who are able to bring these gay characters into the world that more accurately reflect the world that those people live in. And I think that while the non-trans creators are definitely trying to do a better job of telling trans stories, that when we get those trans writers in the writer's room and those trans people working their way up from PA to writer to whatever, to showrunner eventually, that we'll start to see the trans characters change qualitatively in the same way that we have seen gay characters change over the last 30, 40 years.
I would write a fat, strong, sloppy, loud transsexual into my show, and we just don't see that right now.
And well, you and I were talking about this the other day. Why can't we have like the trans version of Melissa McCarthy? You know, the trans version of like the funny character actress.
Why?
That everybody loves.
Why can't we have that now?
You know,
I love what you said about it. You said it's because we're in. You said shut up, and then you said that we're in the Sidney Poitier moment of trans representation.
Well, I think there are certainly media critics who say that every minority group goes through sort of phases of representation, and sort of first you're completely and utterly villainized, and then you're sort of sad, and people should feel sorry for you. I mean, if you read Vito Russo's The Celluloid Closet, it's kind of all in there. Vito Russo was one of GLAAD's founders, I'm very proud to say. But that minority characters in general go through sort of like the villain, and then maybe they're not evil, maybe they're just sad and sick, so we'll feel, you know, empathy and pity on them.
You could just watch them die.
And then they go to like the Sidney Poitier phase, where he was this, you know,